Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Me As Well. Again, we're back on the spotlight, 3 cameras watching. I'm getting used to it. Slowly, I'm getting warm. But today, we have a return guest. Yes, you've heard me, a return guest, because if you've listened to my previous episode, I've had a guest before. To be exact, on episode 4, I had my friend, Marlis, who's with us today. And she's returned because I thought that I needed to do justice to her story and actually put a face to the audio. So that's why we have Marlis today. Hi, Marlis. How are you?
Hi, Mia. I'm so excited to be here. Second time on this podcast. I feel so honored. It's so special. Oh, it's so exciting to be here.
How are you?
I'm good. You know, we are in a whole new space today.
I know, right?
And this feels so professional, and I'm so proud of you. I must say, we're already making strides and big steps, so I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. Can you imagine the last time we recorded, it was in my room. Literally, there was a croissant on the table. We were holding the mics and we were talking. And now we're in a completely different setup.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm so happy to have you back. If you guys want to know more about Marlis' story, how she came to Dubai, how she's now an artist, I would recommend you guys to go and check it out because it's quite a long story. And today we're here for something new. Mm-hmm. We're here for 2024. We're here with a brand new Marlis.
Brand new. Yes. It's just 2.0 version, exactly. 2.5 version, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah.
So if you want to know more, you're welcome to go and listen to the audio. But now you'll see she is Marlis.
Here, in the flesh.
So Marlis, my first question. Usually, obviously, when I start the recording with like guests on, I always talk about their early life. But again, like I said, this is the second time you're here, so we're not going to go there. What I want to talk about, guys, if you've seen, we're in a complete different setup compared to the previous episode because we have some artworks.
Yes.
And then, not me making it obvious. Here. Do you see this beautiful piece? Anyway, that is part of your new collection.
That's right.
My girl's been working hard.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me everything about this new collection. What inspired you? What's the name of the collection? What's the name of these pieces that we have here? What's the story behind them?
Yeah.
Tell me everything.
My most latest collection is called Marlis. And that sounds wild. Yes, it's my name. I thought it would be extremely fitting because it is a collection that's inspired by self-love and just exploring the idea of love and finding it within and just going through that whole process. So I got the idea from a journal page that I had written last year in November. So in general, last year, I was releasing collections that were inspired by journal pages that I had written. And so going down on the same theme of that, I, came across a page that I wrote in November, and it was about love. It was questioning like what love is, how we find love in different aspects in our life, and how I want to find love purely in myself and things that I choose to do, people that I surround myself with, love for my inner thoughts, love for my mental health,
good.
Love for all of these things, and take away from maybe the whole concept of like chasing and trying to find love in someone else.
I agree.
So yeah, and I had to kind of go down that path a little bit, which was it was hard, but anyway, so the collection is called Marlis. There's 10 original pieces. Each piece is inspired by an excerpt from this full page in my journal.
Okay.
And I brought 2 pieces today. Yeah. The one on your left, the red one, is called Lifetime Affair. And it has nothing to do with a cheeky affair. Okay. But the excerpt that inspired that is it says, "I want love and I want it for a lifetime." And so I chose the name Lifetime Affair because I thought it was a little cheeky and a little sexy. But also the fact that I want love for a lifetime. And how do I find that if I don't find that in myself and finding that inner love? I think that if we try to find it in lots of other things and other people, we risk not having happiness 100%. And like having that love.
Oh, yes.
So that's where that piece kind of got inspired. Yeah. So I created an abstract rose. And midway through the process, I actually messed up. If you see,
I remember. I saw the reel when you said that, and I was like, "That's the piece," because I remember.
Yeah. So like you'll see, there's like little bumps or like dots on the bottom, right and left, and those were kind of some mistakes that I would say, but I chose to move on and embrace it instead of trying to cover it up. And that when I finished that, I was like, wow, this is the perfect story of the process of creating the piece, and also the message that I was even trying to share, that wanting love for a lifetime isn't going to be perfect. And there's so many different challenges and bumps in the road 100%. And things that we reach, and then we have to kind of adapt. Then we have our scars, you know, 100%. Where we have on our physical bodies or our minds or whatever. So that piece really embodied that message. And I was like, perfect, we're just gonna go with that. And in the previous episode, I mentioned that I'm a recovering perfectionist. So this was also a way for me to let go of that perfectionism and just kind of lean into it. And hopefully I shared that story with that piece. But so yeah, what do you think about? I mean, beautiful. What do you get when you see that?
I don't know if you guys can see, but like, it's so. I get it, but like, if you didn't point out about the bumpiness, like I would have never even noticed it. But what I really like is, like, for example, there's that touch of gold, and it's true. It's very like in depth. I like the color tone. I like the. Usually, I'm not a pink kind of girl. But this one, it's not just pink. It's like the different shades of red. Yeah. And then I like the little gold, the little glittery feel. Honestly, I love it. That's what's neat me. I kind of wanted to go for a bit more of that traditional like red rose vibe. But put a little bit of a different spin on it. And you'll see if you see the rest of the collection, it's very different than this, and they're all very uniquely themselves. So yeah, the other piece right up here is called State of Mind. And that was inspired by a journal excerpt that said, I'm trying to remember what it was, but I want to be in love with the state of my inner thoughts. And like the state of my mind and my inner thoughts. It's not exactly word for word, but essentially what it's saying is that I want to be in love with, my inner dialogue, my mental health, and just where my state of mind is at, because it all starts in our mind, our thoughts, 100%, right? 100%. And so that piece, I kind of wanted to have this like the veins kind of like in your mind with like neurons, and that's why it has the like gold like piercing through the blues. And that's what I wanted to capture there. I see it. I see what you mean. It's like, okay, I see what you mean. Honestly, oh my God, I'm just always gobsmacked by all your work, because Jesus, you're a talented woman. It's very in depth. I like because it's still true to your kind of art. But you manage to always bring something new in all your arts, which is something very difficult. You still with the same fabric, you're using resin,
and resin.
Sorry, resin
and alcohol inks.
Exactly. So you still use the same thing, the same base, but you build a story on time and time again, and you keep surprising me, and you keep mind blowing me, and I'm like, wow, like this is just beautiful. And again, I can say for a fact that once again, I can relate to you.
Good. I'm glad. This is the
funny.
whole point.
It's exactly.
As an artist and a creator, that's all I want.
It's funny because personally, I feel like ever since I know you, whatever you went through, we kind of can relate. Yes. Obviously, we all have our own journey that's for us, but it's like, okay, I get it, because I'm also going through something kind of similar. And I understand what you mean about the whole self-love, because around last year, end of last year precisely, I understood, because I started hypnotherapy, remember I told you about. Ooh. And I understood that I cannot expect love from a man or from someone else, from my dad, from my mom. I mean, yes, obviously, they will give you love, but I will never be happy if I don't give myself the love, if I'm not kind to myself.
Right.
So I understand what you mean, and it's truly beautiful. So you've done how many pieces again?
It's 10 in total.
Okay.
And they're all different. They're different colors and they have a different message, but it's all centered around self-love and just, you know, finding love in the things that we maybe like to do, you know, our hobbies, activities, the work we do, and also the people that we surround ourselves with, but like finding joy and love in that, but not necessarily searching for love.
I completely, I get what you mean, but I really like it.
Thank you.
I'm your biggest fan, girl.
No.
So obviously, I'll put all her Instagram handle and everything towards the end of the episode, so you can check out more of her artworks and all of the remaining 8 pieces. Sorry, my math. Yeah. I was counting.
Your math is mathing.
But along the way of you creating this and discovering yourself and loving yourself, you also started something new.
Yeah.
Which is the 100 Days Art Challenge. Did I get it right?
100 Days of Art Challenge. Yeah. Okay. You got it.
Show us your book. How many days are you on?
So yeah, I'm on day 83 today. I don't know if you can probably see it in the camera. This is a tracker that I created. So I created this like downloadable PDF, and then I decided to print it, where there's 100 days, and like each day I wrote, I journaled in here, but essentially the challenge is to do 15 minutes of something creative every day, or like a creative practice. I work with materials like resin and alcohol inks, and so I don't typically want to be in the studio creating something every day, because one, it obviously takes way more than 15 minutes, but when I decided to start this challenge, I knew I didn't want it to just be purely about the visual art.
Yeah.
So art is also writing, singing, dancing, cooking. All these other things are also considered art, right?
Yeah.
So I decided that I would do a journaling practice and an art practice. So on some days it was a bit of both. On some days it was one or the other. On some days, to be quite honest, on some days it was neither. There were a couple days that I ended up missing in between, and I'm like, you know what? It's okay. We're just gonna keep going. Exactly. But yeah, so this book has like all of these pages in it that I filled, and there's a lot of very personal things in here.
How should we go? Don't tempt me.
A lot of really personal things in here that, you know, to some degree I'm like, how vulnerable do we really want to get today? I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of, day 83. I'm so close to the end.
Now, how did that impact you, first of all, with your mental health?
Honestly, I feel like my mental health has been kind of, in the previous episode we talked about this, it's a roller coaster ride, it's a work in progress, and I'm gonna say the same thing again. It's been a roller coaster ride. It's still a work in progress, but having a journaling practice, which previously I already had a journaling practice, but it wasn't as consistent as now when I have this book and it says like day 1, day 2, day 3, there's kind of a way for me to keep myself accountable, or to see like my growth from when I started journaling on day 1. What was Marlis talking about on day 1? What was she talking about on day 49? What was she talking about on day 70? You know, it's kind of helped me track everything.
Yeah.
But it's also helped me to go back and look at maybe what was I struggling with? Am I doing better now? Or have I figured this out? It kind of just helped me navigate some of these things that I've been tug of warring in my head a bit. So
indirectly, this is actually helping you with your mental health.
Yeah,
in your journey.
100%, because I'm not going to a therapist at the moment. Eventually, that is a top priority. But right now, you know, it's just right now it's a lot of that self-therapy, and then, you know, again, like finding self-love, exploring that, and journaling so I can figure out all of these complex thoughts and experiences and challenges that are going through my life and how to navigate that.
And truly, I think you're already like a step ahead, you know, because when we're in our mental health journey, I feel like very often we don't even know why we feel a certain way. And it's only until you accept that, okay, this is bothering me. I'm going to sit with that feeling, understand why I'm feeling like this, ask yourself, why, like a trillion times until you actually come to the actual point and understand the problem. And I think I can again relate because I remember the reason why I actually started hypnotherapy personally was because I could see myself being stuck in a vicious circle, mainly when it came to loving relationship, which I just could not understand. And then I was like, you know what? It can't be the man all the time. I have to, there's something that must be me. I know man in Dubai, sorry guys. I'm not going to put all the eggs in one basket, but a majority of men in Dubai are just not boyfriend material or husband material. Let's put it like that. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But I must say, I just asked myself, like, why was I always the one, like, why was I always suffering, or why was I accepting certain things? And when I sat with myself, journaled again, which I think is absolutely beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful therapy as itself. And then when you sit with yourself and you actually, that it's you against you basically. Yeah. And you're real and you write down and then you read back and you're like, okay, now I see the problem. And then you're like, okay, how do I tackle that? And that's when I got the nudge of like, you better go see a therapist, because if you clearly, like, I think a lot of people are scared to see a therapist because it's like, oh, I'm cuckoo, I'm delulu. Yeah. But I don't think it's that. They give you the best kind of advice of how to manage your emotion, understand certain emotion that you can't even describe yourself. Yeah. I think going to a therapist, sometimes people might have this feeling of like, oh, like something's wrong with me. So then I'm going to go to a therapist or whatever. But I mean, really, truly, no one's perfect. And we all have this inner dialogue that goes on in our head that sometimes it's just like the way we speak to ourselves is so important. And then, you know, trying to unlearn certain things and unpack childhood traumas and all this stuff. I mean, it's a lot for one person to do by themselves. 100%. And I know that, you know, like I said earlier, I've been doing the self-therapy thing, but it's a lot for one person to kind of like 100%. Manage on their own, not being a professional in that kind of field. So yeah, I would recommend it, even though I haven't done it yet. I would highly recommend it. Well, this is in the bucket list for 2024. Yes, there we go. Let's add it to the list. Now, talking about 2024, if I'm not wrong in terms of timeline, now correct me. About around the same time last year, you launched one of the pages. One for the pages? One for the pages. Ah, that was like in October? No, wait, that was the second edition. Yeah, the first edition. The first edition. Wasn't that around the same, like maybe actually. March, April? Yeah, I think so. I forgot. The only reason why I'm asking this is because I want to know how you've changed. Did your artwork change over since last year? Yeah. I mean, it definitely has.
I'm always growing and maturing as an artist in my technical skill, but also in like the skill to create a series, share a message, put everything together and bundle up into this like pretty thing that I can share with the world. So I think on a lot of levels, yeah, my skill has gotten better. And I'm constantly working on my skills as well to get better. And even now I try to figure out like, oh, what's the next collection going to be? Is it going to be, something along the same lines, like with the journals, or is it going to be something else? Like I don't know. I'm kind of at the path right now where I have to decide if I want to continue to share some more of the pages, or if I want to maybe explore something a little different.
Okay.
So I'm keeping the door open to like inspiration to flow in, and then to really create authentically what I feel like creating versus feeling like I'm forced to create something with like external voices and stuff. Earlier today, I was going through some of the pages that I had written in my 100 Days of Art journal, and I came across some stuff, and I'm like, I got quite emotional.
Okay.
This time has nothing to do with a boy, but more so just like evaluating my journey and my story and like my challenges and stuff. And I'm like, whoa,
that's deep.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, do I want to share this? Again, I'm like, it's that resistance that I have of, is it oversharing? What will people think? I mean, a part of me thinks that still, but also a part of me still thinks, well, I don't care what people think. That's not 100% true.
I don't care, but
yeah,
a little bit.
I don't care, but like a little bit. So yeah, we'll see where that goes.
And do you think, now that you're in the thought of like your next collection, do you think you would use this 100 Days of Art challenge as potentially 100 pieces of art?
It's so funny you say that, because my sister Myra, we are super close. We live together here in Dubai, and I think it was before I even started the challenge, I was like throwing ideas of the Marlis collection. Prior to the birth of the Marlis collection, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, what's my next collection gonna be? Should I do 100 pieces? Okay. And she's just like, you crazy. Like, stop.
I can literally hear her saying,
yeah, like, so she straight up was like, stop, like, you're giving yourself way too much stress to do that, especially with the type of medium that I work with.
Yeah.
It's very possible. Maybe on like small scales, like maybe if I do like minis, 100 would be doable, but also that would be kind of crazy.
Imagine if you do a minis. Oh, I'm
like 100 minis.
100 minis, but puzzle. And then it would be one.
Like all together.
Yeah.
It would be a puzzle.
Like kind of like a sum up of your, like.
Oh, of the 100.
Yeah, like 100 days. And then you kind of narrow it down to, again, it's therapy. Art is therapy, guys, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
I recently, you know what I've done? I ordered myself a coloring book and pencil, when I was a kid. Yeah. I really like coloring. Yeah. And I don't this time I don't go outside the borders. It's well inside. Yeah. Anyway, like imagine if you narrow it down, you're like, okay, that's the main idea. And then you do a puzzle. Yeah. Using 100 pieces.
I could totally do that.
You can do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You can do that.
I'm gonna write that down somewhere. Maybe in my book.
Today I was on the podcast of me as well. Yeah, and I found out that I will be doing 100 pieces of a puzzle.
You're onto something. Yeah.
It's cool, right? Yeah. I like it. Are you still enjoying Dubai?
Sorry?
Are you still enjoying Dubai? Your life here? Because I remember from the last episode you said, because when I asked you, do you think you would stay here? You said for now I would, but then if I have an opportunity to go elsewhere, I would travel. So.
Yeah, I think I'm still open to the opportunity to explore other places in the world. I've had certain people that have been in my life that kind of shared, certain other countries or places and cities that I could explore. So I'm very open to it. I
Mhm.
feel like that could be in the cards for this year. I'm really not so sure yet. But Dubai life for me has been like it's been very chill. I don't do anything crazy, honestly. I think I kind of just like live in my little bubble sometimes. Unless I have, art events or I'm out networking or the gym or just kind of stuff like that. I don't know. I
Okay.
feel like Dubai is going like very like plateau pace right now. So I have some interesting projects coming up that I can't talk about right now, but I'm hoping that kind of spices things up and changes the trajectory of my career.
Yeah.
Because I feel like right now I'm kind of in a bit of a plateau almost.
Okay.
And partially, I think maybe like Dubai is responsible for that.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's solely responsible for that, but I just feel like with the ebbs and flows and
Yeah.
how it is in Dubai, I feel like I'm at a plateau. And so I'm hoping that, we zhuzh things up and things get
Mhm.
spicy.
I get
Yeah.
you. Talking about event, there was a couple of months back you were showcasing all your pieces, right?
Yeah, that was in January.
Yes.
It was at this art cafe in Dubai, and that was really cool.
How was that?
That was amazing. It was really cool to see like different eras of my work from the last 2 years be represented in a space.
Yeah.
And so it was a unique curation of pieces, but I really enjoyed having it in a space for 2 weeks where, people could come and go and see the art and I could talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I met a lot of other people and it was a pretty cool experience. Yeah.
And then you were also on Forbes.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
In Abu Dhabi, there was the Forbes 3050
Yes.
summit.
Yeah.
And it's basically a summit for women. I think it's the Forbes 30 under 30, 50 over 50, if I'm not mistaken. And I was invited for the second year in a row to be a vendor to
Okay.
sell my art at their closing dinner event. And
That's
so
beautiful.
honestly, it's like the highlight event of the year. It was a huge highlight for me last year and it was a huge highlight for me this year. I get to meet some of the most like coolest and most influential people from around the world because women from all over the world travel to this event.
Okay.
I got to see Shania Twain. Like,
No way.
what? It was so crazy.
Do you have a picture?
Well, she walked by my my vendor booth and
Yeah.
just looked over and that she kept walking.
Well, she looked over.
She looked over.
She gave you the eyesight.
Yeah, and and there were some other really amazing women that I got to meet through that process as well. So super exciting. And now like some of these people collected some of my functional pieces and like some of my fine art pieces and they're all over the world,
Yeah.
It's like someone from Hong Kong, from London, from the US, from Egypt, from Morocco. I don't know. It's just like everywhere and it was just the coolest thing.
It must
So,
be.
yeah.
It's. I think that's one thing I like about Dubai. It's like it's crazy how you can meet people from all across the world, and you're like, what?
Mhm.
Like you're from that place?
Yes.
Even like this morning, I went for a run, and basically the run is from. I have two friends / colleague at work, and they have their own podcast. And they organized this kind of run club.
Right.
And we went for this 5K run and we were there and they were like, oh, where are you from? And I was like, from Madagascar. They're like, oh,
What?
never met anyone from Madagascar. Where's Madagascar? So I was like, you see, I guess that's
It's
a-
true, yeah.
that's a perk. So, moving on to my next pieces of let's put art a little bit aside.
Okay.
Let's talk about something that we both also enjoy. Nah, don't get me wrong. I love art, but I'm just not talented as you are. But there's something that we both like, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
It's martial arts.
Right.
So, my girl came to me a couple of weeks back. I actually remember I walked in the gym. And then there was the beginners class for kickboxing that was going on. And I saw you and I was like, you're not training. What are you doing? But I could tell. And then you told me something new, that you were basically going to teach kickboxing for certain classes, correct?
Yeah, it's kind of on a trial basis, like let's feel it out. Because the head coach Alex had like asked if there were any senior people that would be interested in coaching. And so when I saw that, I was like, you know, a part of me is always kind of wanted to explore that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever said that out loud to anybody.
Yeah, because I was surprised. I was like, I didn't know that you ever wanted to.
No, I mean, it's not something that I told anybody, actually. Yeah. It's just something that I kind of felt. Because when I got introduced to Muay Thai, it changed my life, and it was super exciting. So it's something that I feel like sharing with others, whether they're beginners or not, is always just like the coolest thing. And so anyways, when that popped up, I was like, let me just see where this can go.
Yeah.
So a part of me was very hesitant because I was like, well, but imposter syndrome was like the first thing that kicked into my body, where I'm like, oh, like, but am I good enough? Like, who am I to be like, oh, I can coach other people martial arts? Like, what? Yeah. But I was like, you know what? Just let it go. Let's just go and try it out. Yeah. So we started having the conversation, and I did a few classes on like a trial basis, and then I did a few more, and I really enjoyed it. So I think I'm on the path of, you know, becoming a freelance kickboxing coach as well.
Nice.
So I think that would be really cool.
So now you are past engineering. Yeah. Full-time artist, part-time kickboxing coach.
Yeah, sure. let's throw it on.
Yeah, I mean,
keep adding the hats.
Yeah, let's just add in the CV, like one more profession. Yeah. But I mean, that's fun. That's fun. That's exciting.
Thank you.
I think what I like about it, it's also part of your personality, you know. It's part of you, and I guess it's a new challenge for you. It's nice to always kind of take a new challenge on. So good luck with that.
Thank you. I'm very excited. I'm also kind of just like,
how do you feel?
A little nervous about it. Again, because I feel like I'm it's a big part of my personality and who I am. But at the same time, when it comes to like teaching something else, you know, you still have that part of you where you're like, you don't know it all. And I still have so much that I know I can learn. You know, I know that I have so much that I can learn and advance in Muay Thai and kickboxing myself. So it's like, am I ready to teach? But no, I'm like, I think that I already know enough that I can still share a lot of information, but I can also learn at the same time.
Okay, yeah. So it's basically doing like a by effect, like where you have your, like you as in you're teaching what you know, you're sharing your knowledge, but at the same time you're learning as well through the process.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
You'll have to come to one of my classes.
Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to, but honestly, Ramadan hours did not help me with my training at the moment. But yeah, after Ramadan, I'll be here. I'll be here. So, I want to ask you one thing, based on everything that we've talked today, and I really like the fact that you are working on self-love, which is something that I really want to throw out there, because very often I feel like we are busy filling in others' cup, but not in ours. And that was one of the biggest highlight for me of the end of 2023. And I promised myself, part of my, let's say, intention for this year was to fill in my cup before filling in others' cup. That doesn't mean I'm not going to give love, but I feel like very often we're just giving love to everybody, but we're not giving it to ourselves, and we're being extremely hard to ourselves.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, did you find that self-love after working on your collection, after going through your journaling? Do you think you found, or are you closer to finding it?
I don't think that there's really like an end point of like, you found it, now you're good, you know?
Yeah.
I think that it's a constant like showing up for yourself every single day to have that sense of self-love. Like, I don't think it's ever gonna feel like, cool, I found it, now I'm good. Like, you know, like you found some treasure chest and now, you know, your life has changed. But I still have it in my body, and like, you know, in things that I choose to do, and you know how I have my inner dialogue and how I talk to myself and all of those things. But yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna be like check
Yeah.
self-love.
No, but I get
You know?
I get what you mean. I really
Yeah.
like and I agree. It's a constant journey.
Yes.
But
yes.
I remember when I started to understand what self-love is, it's not just about looking at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're strong, you're independent, you're financially. No, it's not just that, but it's just like truly enjoying and embracing who you are as a person, as a woman, as anything that you are, you're embodied to be you,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And I can tell the process, when you start falling in love, like it's beautiful. It's a love story with yourself.
Yeah.
So, well, I hope that your love story will be full of love.
Yes.
And full of abundance and happiness and joy.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, I want to show you something. Did you see this? She also does these little magnets. I have one on my fridge, by the way. It is so cute. She has like this. Hold on. We have a pink one.
Yeah, there's all sorts of colors. I just brought like a few of them today.
So yeah, if you want to grab one of those. Wait, before. That'll be at the end. But I'll put the link. You can grab yourself one. But before I end and I start I have a new tradition now. I recently started this tradition, which is basically rapid fire questions.
Oh no. I'm like, what's gonna come out of my mouth?
No, but before we get there, I just want one last question.
Okay.
Actually two, because I had one, but another one came into my mind. What would you, if you had to speak to younger Marlis from today where you are, what would you tell her?
It's gonna be okay. Just keep going. Like, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, things might seem scary and life's always gonna throw challenges at you, but it's gonna be okay. You're gonna figure it out. You always do.
Oh, that is cute.
Yeah.
That is cute.
Yeah.
A last one is, based on your journey of self-love, if you had to give any advice for anyone listening, watching us right now, what would it be?
That's a good question. I think it all starts us taking like a good look at ourselves and not judging ourselves, because we're so quick to judge everybody else,
100%.
right? We're so quick to judge everybody else, but taking that look inward and not judging our own selves and having a better inner dialogue with ourselves is like where I would suggest you need to start. So like, what is the first thought you think of when you wake up in the morning or when you go to bed? Like, are you thinking, I'm so grateful, I'm so excited for today, or oh my gosh, I feel like a lazy piece of shit, or whatever, you know? It's whatever it might be. Like, just try to audit yourself and your inner dialogue and how you speak to yourself.
Okay.
Because I think it all starts from there. It can be, you know, you taking care of yourself with your fitness, your food, and your all of this other stuff. But all of that is a bit external. But if you don't start with your mind first and how you speak to yourself, you're never gonna find quote unquote self-love.
Yeah.
So start there and then figure out the rest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that, and I'll take that. So now we're coming to the juicy part, which I really like. Don't worry, it's not that hard.
Oh my gosh.
It's not that deep.
Okay.
Maybe it is. So now, as before we close today's episode, I like to do this rapid fire question. I think this has really grown into me. I started it with Fabio, who was one of the first guests on like screen. Okay. And I really enjoyed it. Okay. And I feel like it's growing with me.
Yeah, because you're the one asking the questions and not answering.
Exactly. Okay. If you had one Taylor Swift song to choose, only one.
Wow. Why would you do this to me?
I knew it.
I'm going to say it's...
one.
So because part of the Marlis collection and the page that I wrote, the first line in there is "You are in love."
Okay.
That's what I want to say to myself. That's like the first few lines in the journal page. So that was actually inspired by the song "You Are in Love," and I think that's one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. If you haven't heard it, you got to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll go listen.
Okay.
I'm not. I know a few of her songs, but I must say I'm not.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to a lot of
That's
the song.
okay.
All right. What is your biggest phobia?
Is drowning in the ocean a phobia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I don't know the name.
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know, but yeah, I guess,
like, it's just like deep waters. I think it has something to do with me watching Titanic as a kid and just like being afraid of the ocean and drowning. I don't know.
That is supposed to be basically a romantic movie.
It was not so romantic.
Yeah, the end is dramatic.
It's dramatic.
Okay. If you had to choose only one color to work with, which one would it be? One color. You can, from that color, you can go like different shades, like pastel, bright.
Artist this question. Actually, it's easy. Okay. It's blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because like, okay, I can do so many like beautiful ocean pieces with blue, especially if I can do shades and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely blue. And it's an easy color to work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love how you just said you're scared of the ocean, but you want to do ocean artwork.
It's calming and it's dramatic at the same time. Okay. I don't know how they both kind of work each other out, but it does.
Single or in relationship?
Oh, why? Why would you? I'm super single right now, but I think relationship.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you had to choose one art piece from your new collection, which one would it be? Only one.
One, it would be State of Mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one's my favorite. I think this one here, Lifetime Affair, is a crowd favorite, but I think State of Mind is my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl, 1000%. Yeah. I also create art mostly at night, so yeah.
Okay. Okay. I had another one, a last one for the road. Pistachio croissant or almond croissant? I had to throw it.
I would say pistachio.
Okay.
Yeah. Also because I feel like we have that one
exactly
together a lot. Now you have me thinking about croissants again. We need to have a croissant date soon.
We can go after.
Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Marlis. Any last words you want to say towards the end before I close today's episode?
Yeah, I'd like to say that I'm so excited to be back on this podcast and I'm so incredibly proud of you.
Oh,
like I have to say that from just a few months ago when you decided that you are gonna, to take the leap and start your podcast to where you are today, you are inspiring me. And you're just doing beautiful things. You're sharing this message with people that are listening all over the world. And you're really just inspiring me. So thank you for doing what you're doing. And thank you again for inviting me on your podcast.
This is so cute.
I'm so proud of you. Okay, that was just
Love
like, yes.
Please don't make me cry.
Okay. It's okay. You can
This
cry.
is so cute. Love.
So, yes.
So this episode was full of love. A soft and cute episode with a little bit of spice. But I really hope you guys enjoy today's episode. Where can we find you, Marlis?
You can find me all over the internet.
She's
so
all over
Instagram, TikTok, my website, whatever. Artsy by M is my handle. And yeah, that's how you can find me.
And I'm going to put all the link in the description so you can find this cute little piece, but also this big piece as well. If you want to get it before anybody, because I truly believe it will look beautiful in your living room or your bedroom, anywhere in your space, basically. But yeah, we truly love this episode, full of love, full of softness. And on that note, I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.